Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now October 9th of 2021. Now, one thing that a lot of Star Wars fans are truly looking forward to is, of course, exactly what Disney and Lucasfilm are going to do with Star Wars Legends and how that's going to become a part of the Mandoverse at large. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter at Mike01 if you guys want to go ahead and give me a follow on there. I do post a couple of entertaining things from time to time. So, we're now in a very interesting position for Star Wars because we're getting closer to the Boba Fett series, which is all set and ready to drop by this December. That's going to really steer things in the right direction before the Kenobi series hits next year, the Andor show, as well as the Bad Batch Season 2 and other TV shows slated for 2022 as well. So it's really all the more exciting, has everything to do with what Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are planning for the future of Star Wars. We already know that they have other shows that they are working on, like the Ahsoka series, which is already planned to drop in 2023. So both 2022 and 23 are going to be very important years. These are going to be the years that are really going to be able to prove that Star Wars can actually thrive and survive and go in the right direction, and getting away from what Lucasfilm had failed to do, right? They want to get on that path of success, and that's exactly what Jon and Dave are trying to do. So now we have Bob Chapek, alright, the Disney CEO of all people, doing everything in his power to really bring things on the right path. And a lot of this has to do with what announcements are going to be coming our way over at Star Wars Celebration next year. So, with that being said, a lot of fans have been very curious about the future Star Wars films. Now, we're not just talking about the solo films that are currently planned by Disney and Lucasfilm. We're also tapping into the fourth Star Wars trilogy that Disney is actively working on as we speak. So, on top of all of this, we do know, of course, that George Lucas is somewhat involved with all these different projects, and that's a very exciting thing to know. It means that we're going to have that vision of Star Wars intact. So, with both Disney and Lucasfilm now focused on their new Star Wars TV shows like Ahsoka and Kenobi, for example, both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are already making key changes to the Star Wars universe moving ahead. However, Disney CEO Bob Chapek is indeed planning to unveil new Star Wars films at Star Wars Celebration, including the fourth Star Wars trilogy that is in active development that will take the franchise in a brand new direction. Now, this trilogy is set to be released in between the solo films that Disney plans to release, and that both actor Keanu Reeves and actress Jennifer Connelly are set to play major roles in the trilogy. Now, it's described that there are already major plans for their characters for these films. One big plan is that Keanu and Jennifer will be playing a Sith King and Queen in the series. Connelly's character is currently dubbed as Queen Valar. Queen Valar is set to hold secrets about the Sith and the dark side as a whole, and that the new trilogy is planned to tap further into the realm of Mortis, as seen in the Clone Wars. Now, Mortis is going to play a major role in the trilogy that will dive more into the cosmic force. Queen Valar is said to be a very action-driven character played by Connelly. The story is set to tap into a Sith royal family that will send their daughter, the princess, to seek Jedi in hiding somewhere in the Outer Rim, and that the trilogy is going to hold deep ties to the Old Republic and will mainly be based in the unknown regions. Now, this trilogy is set to have a connection to the already planned Old Republic TV show for Disney Plus that they are planning to drop by 2025. Now, the new films are described to be very dark and gritty in nature, and more violent than any other existing Star Wars movies out there, and are taking notes from movies like Lord of the Rings and others. Actor Keanu Reeves is said to actually make a big announcement of his involvement with the trilogy by summer of next year, and that George Lucas is planned to become a co-writer of sorts for these new movies. Now, Lucas is said to be using unused Star Wars Legends stories for the films, and that there will also be side stories involved that will go over the first Jedi in existence that will be used for the backstory of the Jedi. Now, this take on this franchise is set to also bring in a brand new type of foe that is going to go up against both the Sith and the Jedi. Lucasfilm is aiming to create 3 groups going against each other in these new movies, covering the Sith, the Jedi, and new types of Darksiders that loathe the Sith and want to take them down. This trilogy is set to take place sometime after the Old Republic era, however not too distant from that actual timeline. Now, both Jon and Dave are said to have creative control over some of the storytelling aspects and lore decisions for this new trilogy that is truly going to take things in a brand new direction for the fandom. The origin of Skywalker is also going to be explained in this trilogy as well, that will take fans by surprise. So I want to actually go over something that's truly important about all of this. Now, given that Bob Chapek, he really is working around the clock to bring Star Wars in the right direction. We already know that Bob Chapek wants to make sure that Star Wars can have different themes when it comes to the new movies and the new TV shows. In this case, the new trilogy is going to be a very dark and gritty Star Wars path. And I kind of like that. It's something that a lot of fans have been asking for a number of years now, to have a Star Wars trilogy that would actually be darker in nature. It just makes a lot of sense to go that route, to kind of explore what has not been explored just yet, at least in the feature films. And I do actually respect that, I do. So the fact that Jon and Dave are going to have some form of creative control or power over some of the lore decisions, some of the storytelling aspects of these new films, I think means a lot. It tells us that Jon and Dave's promotions over at Lucasfilm actually do mean something. It's not just for TV shows and books, but it's also going to be for the new Star Wars movies intact. The fact that they are also aiming to have George Lucas on as a co-writer, it also means a lot as well. So that timeline of Star Wars movies that we actively have right now, it's not complete. They're going to be filling in the gaps, and the fourth trilogy is exactly that. It's going to be filling in the gaps in between the solo movies, and that's what they're aiming for. The other thing is this, is the fact that they are going to be tapping into the realm of Mortis. I don't know if you guys are really familiar with the realm of Mortis, but this is all shown in the Clone Wars TV series. I do suggest that you guys go ahead and check it out. You get to explore characters like the son, the father, and the daughter. You can see the themes that they're aiming for. They really want to make sure that these new films are going to be very tied to the Force, the Jedi, and the Sith, and it's going to take place after the Old Republic, not during or before, because they want to tie this trilogy to the Old Republic live-action TV series that's going to debut in 2025. We talked about that a couple of days ago, actually. Now, the other thing that I also want to tap into here is the fact that Lucasfilm is aiming to also take inspiration from Lord of the Rings. So this is basically going to be a Lord of the Rings type of Star Wars trilogy mixed with that Star Wars theme, kind of keeping that intact. And I kind of think that's a very interesting route. You know, it's going to be very interesting to see exactly how this is all going to play out, how the fans are going to react to this in the near future, and exactly what it really means for the future of Star Wars films moving forward, right? So overall, guys, you know, let me know what you think about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.